What's going on, y'all? Welcome to Just Geeking Out. You know what it is. You saw the thumbnail. Before we go any further, hit that notification bell, subscribe, like, comment section. We are here for the Superman, specifically James Gunn's Superman deep dive. And Chris appropriately has his he spent like $70 on that thing.
It was expensive. I'm not gonna lie. I bought it during the movie.
Oh my goodness. I already did my review on the film. You can check that out. But we're here to go a little deeper into it. We got my cousin Chris St. Victor
What
to
up?
my left, and that is Jack Walker Pearson below
Breaking the
me.
law.
Breaking the law, texting and driving. This man's commitment. He's moving right now.
I am not texting at all.
No, driving and talking. A video chat is probably just as.
Yeah,
Anyway,
but like if I'm driving a manual, then I've only got one hand anyway.
fair.
That's a
If
good
you
point.
drive, and if you're driving a Tesla, you'd have no hands.
Right.
But we're not. Listen, I want to know your your first thoughts. You know what did you think, Chris? You just got out the theater, Jack. I think you saw it yesterday, and then I have certain categories where I want to get down deep into it. But Chris, what did you think?
I thought that this was the live action Superman the animated series in the best possible way. I loved it. I thought the tone was right. Sebastian, my son, was going crazy the whole time, cheering and laughing, and it was the best Superman movie I've ever seen in my life.
Wow,
And
Jackie boy.
and I tried to watch Superman Returns to prepare for it. I shut it off. I couldn't even watch it.
Yeah, that's about. In all fairness, though, Superman Returns still has two of the best Superman sequences in any film. When
And
that airplane and when the bullet stops on his eye, that
I
is.
saw the airplane thing. I just shut it off after that.
But yeah, you didn't. There's not much you missed after the airplane sequence. Jackie boy, what are your initial thoughts?
well, I'll say this: I think it's more than just a Superman movie. It's the first and only DC Universe film we've ever gotten. Obviously, it's world building, but it's more than just characters and cameos. It's literally the DC comic book world is alive and thriving in the background of this film at all points in time. So this is the only DC comic book universe film ever made, in my opinion, live action. And that's it. I think obviously it's a departure from whatever Zack Snyder's version of Superman was. This is not dark. It's not brooding. He's not snapping necks. He's not listening to his father's death cries as his skin is ripped from his body in a tornado. That's not this Superman.
No, it's not.
This is Corn Sweat is a little hokey. He's wholesome. It's charming. It's whimsical, and life matters in this film to Superman, not to all of them, and it doesn't matter to the right people. And it might be, the last thing I'll say, because I know I'm getting long-winded.
No, this is good. Keep going.
This could be the single best fight me on it screen Lex Luthor we've ever had. I mean, this guy's moment
Luthor was
calculating. Steals the show.
Yeah,
he does. He absolutely does. My initial thoughts is pretty much everything you guys just said, and I want to piggyback on something you said, Chris. You said your son loved it, and I did appreciate Man of Steel for what it was. Like Batman '89, it's a take, and everything else, but it's like we got to remember this is a movie kids are supposed to go to and enjoy.
Yeah, it is.
Everyone is supposed to enjoy Superman, and when I was a kid watching Christopher Reeve, these kids are supposed to have that same experience, and I'm all for darker takes, but I don't want to build a universe off of a darker take. Let that be its own trilogy, and then we're done. I loved everything you guys said. It was a mixed bag for me. There were some things there were some negatives, mainly the pacing. I thought the pacing was kind of crazy. We'll get into that a little
Very
more.
fast. It's almost
Too fast.
too fast. And
Like there was a moment where, and we'll get into this scene, but the beautiful scene between Lois and Clark when she's interviewing him and you see their relationship, right?
he's one emotional Superman.
I love it.
Yeah.
He walks out and then it immediately cuts to the kaiju and Superman like stopping him. And I'm like, I like we jumped to so many plot points. Like, yes, give me the next day. Clark is at the Daily Planet. He hears something. Like, give me. There was no transition scenes into the next beat. It was always like, fight, bam, Lex Luthor, bam. And I was like, why are we flying through this? Slow it down. Give me the moments.
Is that another fire?
Don't say that.
I'm looking at it right now, getting on the freeway.
Where are you?
That's a big one too. I'm jumping on the 101 headed up from Burbank up into North Hollywood area. There's something's going on.
Well,
look, I'll agree, and I've talked to a handful of people. They said the same thing. They echoed that they would have liked to have seen maybe 20 to 30 more minutes in this film just to help ease the pace of the film down so it didn't feel like it was rushing to the next thing.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until we get to Smallville with his parents
where we get to breathe.
Yeah, and it's such a good breath too.
And there's
wonderful. Then it's over. It's like back at it.
Well, and there's wonderful character moments. I think I said this to Chris. James Gunn really put his faith into the audience understanding who Superman is and the dynamics, because he doesn't give you time to he doesn't explain a thing.
All we get is in the beginning we get maybe 30 seconds to a minute. 3 centuries ago, Metahuman showed up. 30 years ago, an alien landed.
Yep.
Like 30 days ago, he introduced himself. 3 days ago,
which was kind of after what is then it gets funny. It's like, okay,
yeah, and like 3 seconds ago, he lost his first fight, and bam, we're in the movie.
Like if you're 10 years old, and like we grew up with a lot of Superman, but there hasn't been a lot of Superman. He's not like Spider-Man where there's a new cartoon every 2 seconds. So if a 12-year-old's going into the theater and doesn't even really know much about Lois and Clark, they're going to be like, so are they together? She knows his identity?
But I actually like that. I like that they didn't have to fast track it.
But you have context.
Even if I don't have context, it's just they're dating. What do I need to know? They're dating. I didn't figure it out.
But you still have 40 years of Lois and Clark under your belt to fill in blanks that you may not even realize you're filling in.
I would agree with that, except for the fact that their chemistry is so damn phenomenal.
Yes.
I didn't need 40 minutes of them.
Dude, and okay, I'll say that. James Gunn's saving grace is their chemistry. Because if there was no chemistry, he would expect his audience to get on board with a lot.
Oh, I think he expects the audience to have some background. We can jump into existing worlds. Even if I do nothing on Superman, I can jump into this world even with Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl, all the other people, and still understand what's going on.
But my question to that is, we say that, but we still grew up with Justice League Unlimited. We still grew up with the things that are filling in the blanks for us, even if we don't know. So I wonder,
true, but the acting in this film is,
the performances fill in the blanks. Man. Okay, let's talk about this. First up, I want to talk about, where are my notes? This is a deep dive. Well, let's talk about the casting, as you're talking about performances. I thought the casting here was amazing. I mean,
Sweat as Superman was,
dude, and he found a way to make it his own, right? Like he wasn't.
I like what they did with the glasses too. They finally just kind of gave you a thing.
I actually hate it.
Really?
That's one of my cons. No. For me, it is canon as far as like the 70s, like in the Bronze Age, they did add that in there. It hasn't always been. The reason why I hate it because then it undercuts the actor never has to like play Clark Kent anymore.
But he does though. He
But
does.
but it's unnecessary because the glasses make you see something different. So he doesn't have to do anything if he doesn't want to. And I feel like there's something about
But Lois even says it. She goes, the glasses are only
I
So
was with that until we had a whole scene explaining hypno glasses where I'm like, huh.
yeah.
It felt like to me what like the other directors do, and I was hoping James Gunn wasn't like it, where there's something hokey about the thing, and instead of just leaning into it, you're trying to find a way to justify its
Well,
existence.
this as an actor myself, I always liked that take where he was studying acting.
Superman Birthright, like he actively is doing something, and like James Gunn had an issue with the trunks, right? He didn't understand how to make them cool or make them functional. And David Cornsweet says to him, he's like, "Well, what if they're supposed to look silly? Because it'll put people at ease and children at ease." He wants Superman to feel like he's the kind of guy you can ask for directions. So
Right.
for me, it's the same thing with the glasses. Don't make it a thing. People already won't believe that Superman will choose to work a 9 to 5 job and live in an apartment across the street like that. People, he can probably walk around with no glasses and people still be like, "You look like him," but I don't know why Superman would choose to walk in the first place.
How often people even make eye contact nowadays? It's
That's
Right.
true.
So we didn't need the hypno. And also, I
I,
don't
I
know.
I read that a little bit different. So I understood So when Lois kind of blew it off, I took it as Guy Gardner was assuming those were hypno glasses, but they kind of weren't. Like
no, they were.
They were.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
They were.
They justified why no one else put it together.
And I didn't need the explanation. I don't think, but it's there. Um, but I thought the casting was pretty great, and like you said, Nicholas Holt steals the show. He
Ooh-wee,
steals
man.
the show.
Look, not to jump the shark, but the Russian roulette moment.
Oh man, I thought that was gonna last longer.
My God,
He was even a little. He was shocked by his own villainy
but
in
so
that moment,
callous, man. But didn't care. Yeah, but didn't care.
and he's
I was
like, "Perhaps I'll just
such a
murder everyone you know,"
Right, but I'll get Clark Kent.
which
that
I
guy
think
you give all the interviews to.
which I
Yeah.
feel like puts Superman at ease a little bit, because if
Yeah.
he said Lois, then forget about it.
Right.
But on paper, such a mustache twirling villain on paper. But then you look in his eyes and you see the hate, the envy, his speech about "I do envy you and it's my strength." I was like, "Oh,
You
baby."
know what though? I think he was a mustache twirling villain, but I think the tone of the movie was complementary to the mustache twirlingness. So
But he had depth.
he did have that.
At
He did.
depth.
He did, but he was still very much a this movie. Look, I've said this a million times. My biggest problem with the Nolan films, they don't give you that superhero feel,
Mhm.
and it's too grounded, and it doesn't feel whimsical, like Jack said enough. This movie does that. This movie is the right tone, and when I describe it as the animated series come to life, it's not a dig at this movie. It's a compliment to this movie because the animated series I felt captured Superman as this optimistic Boy Scout where these wonderful, like crazy adventures can happen, and you can suspend your disbelief and enjoy it. This movie had that. We saw a kaiju, we saw this stuff happen,
Yeah.
and the tone was right throughout the movie where we can accept it. Okay, this is the world. This is how this world is, and I can take it and enjoy it, and I loved it.
Well, and what I love about them saying that metahumans have existed for 300 years, every superhero film from X-Men to the Batman films to the
Origins.
Superman films, but it's also this origins for the universe. So you can literally blame the hero for the existence of everything that bad that happens.
Right.
Where in this universe, it's like, no, there was superpowered beings before Clark even came to Earth. You can't blame Superman for the influx of people misusing their powers. He is here to save
But
us.
I like that they also put in that he is by far the strongest person on the planet.
Okay, and here's another nitpick I have. and I wish we had more time. It's really time. In the opening title sequences, they made a point to say this was the first time he lost a fight.
Right.
Yeah,
We never really get to sit with Clark.
experiencing that.
How do I beat him? The fear, and because don't forget the Bravia. The what is this? What was his
Yeah,
name?
Bravia and the other one, George.
Well, we know it's Ultraman, but it's not like Clark captures him at the end of that first fight.
Yeah.
No.
So the guy that destroyed you is still out and
The
about.
hammer of Bravia. That's what it was.
The Hammer of Bravia is still out and about, and you don't know if you can take him down.
Well, you can't take him down. But you know what's funny? There is a comic book where Superman realizes he has to train because he basically just throws haymakers 90% of the time, gets the job done. So he never really had any fighting skill. There's a comic book where he trains with
Batman.
Darkseid's.
Oh,
No, he trains with Darkseid's dude, and I mean, it is incredible to see what the guy is able to do when he applied himself, and I was kind of like scary. You're like, oh yeah, maybe haymakers is where it's at for this dude.
well, so I just needed the moment of him dealing with the fear. Like I don't know if your body's ever been broken like this before.
Right.
Like the first time of it all for
Well,
him.
we assume it hasn't because they said this is the first fight he's lost.
So we never got that moment with him.
But they were ready to supercharge him with the sunbeam.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure they have protocols in place.
it's asking. Yeah.
I just needed a moment with the actor, and maybe his parents call. He's like, "I'm fine, I'm fine," and like Clark can be in denial about it. Just give me. It could have been 5 seconds, but just a moment.
He kind of almost had a distant relationship with his Earth parents for a lot of like there was some kind of block there.
I don't know if that was intentional. I just think it was because they weren't in it enough.
Or he
maybe, but like I felt like his moment with his dad was like he didn't seem like it was seemed like it was even though Martha was calling him mush and stuff, and he's definitely got a big heart. It seemed like they had a relationship where they didn't necessarily say "I love you" all the time or hug.
It felt like he was an old school dad. Like Martha calling him mush was because he's not. Until and here's you gotta look at this. This might be the first time Clark has ever been sick or hurt.
It probably was the first time he's ever been
So that's what took his father to the brink. Like speaking as a dad myself, Jack, can you mute yourself for 1 second?
Mute myself? Yeah. How do I do
Hold on.
that?
Maybe I can.
Or just
there
turn
we go.
yourself down just a little bit.
As a father, Chris, you know this. There's such a pressure to protect your son, protect your children. But if you have a son that's Superman and he's a good kid, there's a part of you that don't have to worry about him breaking his leg. Or, when he goes out driving, if he gets into a car accident, it'll suck. Don't hurt anybody.
Nothing can hurt him.
So this is the first time you're like with your son, like, oh, I'm not equipped for this.
Yeah.
He's been my son for 30 years, and I'm not equipped to help him when he's sick because he's never been sick. So, yeah, Jack, that's what I think is going on with Pa Kent. Not that their relationship is it's just old school dad, and this is the first time he's mush. You're breaking up a bit.
Y'all, and I'll talk to you later. Thanks for having me on, although brief.
Well, check back in if you get some downtime. We might still be here.
Oh, it's definitely.
Well, fair, but y'all want to? Jack has an amazing take. Go check out his channel, Graphic Heroes. If y'all want to hear more what this man has to say, he does really great comic book breakdowns.
Appreciate that. All right, gentlemen.
Peace out, Jackie boy.
Good talking to you, Jack.
Peace. So yeah, that was my. Well, we'll get to the categories. I want to tell you my issues with it, only so we don't feel like we're just glazing him, because I'm about to glaze all over him.
I mean,
stop it, Chris. No. The pace was an issue for me because there was a certain character moments we didn't get. Um,
I see that.
we didn't get Clark Kent in glasses, but for really one scene in the whole movie.
Only when he's walking through the crowd with his broccoli haircut.
Yeah, and I wanted more of that, and just to see his dynamics walking around the real world. And I wanted more with. Yeah, I just felt like it jumped to different sequences fast. Another big issue I had. Now this is a massive issue.
Okay.
Jimmy Olsen and Eve was a big problem for me.
So, yeah, it seemed a little convenient. And Jimmy Olsen, first of all,
Now, if he got Riz, he got Riz. Let him have Riz. I ain't hating on the
this
Riz
opportunity
mess.
should be Leonardo DiCaprio. It's too bad Jack didn't win.
Little
Oh,
inside joke.
yeah.
Jack's perfect casting for an older.
Jack wanted to make a movie with Jimmy Olsen with Leonardo DiCaprio, but it was a little convenient that he had this.
So I'm dating this billionaire's girlfriend who's cheating on the billionaire, but she wants to be with me, and she's taking selfies throughout the film to have blackmail on him. And
No,
it's
I don't think it's to have blackmail. I just think it's her own vapid self.
no,
But
I disagree.
really, you think so?
I think that she was just collecting because she said she knows what he did to his last ex-girlfriend.
True,
So I
true.
think she was just doing. Her name is Eve Tessmacher, right?
Right,
And she's named after the Lex Luthor's girlfriend in the original Superman movie, Miss Tessmacher.
right.
And as bad as she was with Lex, when Superman had the kryptonite necklace around his neck, she jumps in to save him. There's always something about that character that's always still about to be good too.
Yeah.
And I think she was collecting collateral.
Okay.
And I don't mind that because you be stupid. You see how crazy Lex is.
Right. You'd be stupid not to protect yourself.
But the convenience of her dating Jimmy, and then it just was too much. It was too easy, way too easy.
Yeah.
And I feel like the humor was good, but it undercut some of the drama too much for me.
With what? With her and Eve and the crypto and stuff.
Just all of it. No, I love all the crypto stuff. Crypto stuff is great
Crypto stole the movie, I think.
because
Yeah.
he's a disruptor.
Yeah.
So let him disrupt. But like, it's how I felt about Guardians 2. It was like machine gun jokes, and it was too much. It wasn't that much here. But for example, Superman is sitting in his apartment, and Lois so happens to be there when they're at night, and he's in his suit, and she's talking to him, and he's like, my parents didn't send. I didn't know that message. You remember the scene? You just saw it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It was kind of funny at first that there's this massive fight outside the window with Guy Gardner, Hawkgirl, and Mr. Terrific fighting like that Imph or Starro looking thing.
Yeah. He said it was a star, but he said it was an imp. So it made me wonder if Mr.
Mr. Splixick.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny because he was so like, oh, they got it. But they kept having it in the background while they're having this real heartfelt conversation. And I'm like, you're undercutting. You only get 2 real scenes with Superman and Lois in this whole movie. It's the long one in the interview,
Right.
and there's this one where she sees the man, and I'm like, why do we have this joke behind him the entire time?
I don't necessarily know if it was a joke, but I think it meant to show like this is the life of Superman. Like this is what you have to deal with. Even though you're involved in his life, there's always something going on in the background.
I think it was a joke. I think that's true. But like, cause he's talking to her about everything and she's sitting there going like,
He says, I love you in that scene. That's a scene like this.
Right. But she keeps looking out the window like, are you sure you didn't?
There's a battle outside. Of course, how could you not keep looking out the window?
So it's killing the story he's telling with the thing outside the window does nothing for the movie outside of it's a joke. It's the joke. It's a little humor. And I'm like, I get it. Do it everywhere else, but give me my Superman Lois scenes without it. That was my issue. There's moments where the humor undercuts the drama a little bit. Like I don't need the president of where was he from? Bravia.
Yeah, Bulgaria. Yeah.
He was so much of a cartoon character, and that was fine. But when we got Superman dying of kryptonite poisoning, he Russia roulettes that guy in the head. I didn't need the cartoon president
To be
there
there.
for that.
Yeah.
I didn't need I didn't need comedic relief in that moment. I'm
Yeah.
cool with that moment being, whoa, what the hell?
Yeah.
So there's moments like, not all, but there's moments like that where it's like, and the whole Eve thing.
Here's the thing. I think I see what you're saying, and you do have a point. But I think when you set the tone as the tone was, I think you're bound to have seriousness and levity clash because the tone is very light, whimsical, and very, very, very. I know it's a comic book movie, but it's very, very comic booky. Like it's very, it's really, really lifted from. I'm not gonna say necessarily from source material because it doesn't follow a specific storyline, but it does follow the essence of what Superman is when you read a Superman comic.
But it's Superman's not the funny pages. It's not a comedy.
No, it's
And,
not.
and I don't mind this being a comedy. I don't mind the humor. I just minded it in areas where I don't think we were supposed to laugh here.
I I didn't. I found the humor appropriate. It wasn't like Thor or Ant Man where I'm like, really? Now you're making jokes? I don't
Well,
need a dick joke now. Like,
to me, Eve is that. In the midst of this whole thing, Lex Luthor's trying to kill Superman. Here's this vapid girlfriend that's like, "Okay, Jimmy, I'll give you everything you need on Lex Luthor. Just make sure you go on a date with me on Saturday." Lex Luthor just murdered somebody, and you know he can.
yeah.
And you're doing all this for a date. It just it was a that stuff was like, come on, it's a bit much. Like it's hard, and not just a date on Saturday.
The
I'm
whole
gonna give
movie.
you the very thing that will take him down and put him in Belle Reve.
Right.
So the thing that takes Lex Luthor down is kind of like a vapid bimbo joke.
Uh,
That I had a hard time with that, Chris. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I
I
love
get
the movie. I had a hard time with that part. But
that's
but all the casting was great, from Cat Grant to Steve Lombard to it's just
yeah.
freaking.
Mr.
I
Terrific was great.
oh, at first I was like, he's gonna play. I'm gonna play this whole thing straight.
Yeah, he's like
And
my favorite line. He's like, "Do you want me to like when at the end where he's like, do you want me to disengage the rift?" I'm Mr. Terrific. What the-
but he has an attitude. Like
yeah,
he's
yeah,
mad that he even
yeah,
has to deal
yeah,
with these people.
Yeah.
He's like, I put nanites in his bloodstream. You put that in his. I do that to everybody.
everybody. Wait, what?
Everybody. Everybody.
Guy Gardner was Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner was.
That's Guy Gardner.
Look, he played a Green Lantern different than we've seen any Green Lantern.
Oh, but totally Guy Gardner.
Only Guy Gardner, and it
Now,
works.
now here's my critique when it comes to the humor. If everybody's funny and everybody's kind of cracking jokes, then it waters down what Guy Gardner's supposed to do. Because
Yeah.
everybody's kind of funny versus everybody has to be serious. But like when you're watching Justice League back in the day, the
Yep.
reason why the Flash was the lighthearted one was because everybody else.
Because you had the straight man to play against him. You had Batman as a straight man to
There
play.
wasn't a straight man for Guy Gardner to really bounce off of, except
Well,
Mr.
Mr.
Terrific.
Terrific.
But he didn't talk that much until later.
Right.
So anyway, I'm done talking about the humor part. But yes, Guy Gardner was terrific. Heart Girl was dope.
She was
Um,
dope. She was
this-
Shaira from freaking Justice League Unlimited, 100%.
yes, yeah. Um, and who else? I mean, there's so many freaking Cat
Yeah,
Grant.
Cat Grant was fantastic. Like it. I'm telling you, it was Superman the Animated Series live action come to life. It
Dude,
was
it was All Star. It was it was All Star Superman.
Superman. It was everything. It works, and you know the people who we talked a lot about this on your show about how the people have a problem with this because it's not the Snyderverse.
Yeah,
But
I was going back and forth with folks.
but could you imagine? Imagine Henry Cavill in this movie playing the same tone? It wouldn't
No,
work.
he wouldn't have been cast for this version, or
Right.
maybe or he would have, because you listen to interviews with Henry, he couldn't wait for his version of Superman to eventually become the pinnacle of hope. Like for him, he was like, "I'm doing Man of Steel. This is his first outing, and we'll get to see him evolve." He just never got a chance
You got a chance to do it. I
to
mean,
do it. Um,
this was it though. Like James Gunn. I mean, it's the look. It's the I keep harping on the tone, but it was so important for me that they got it right, and they got it right.
they got it very right. And the score, like the music, like it's the first time I've ever heard a classic score be used and it not feel like a cameo. Right? The John Williams score is very much present in this film, and it
Sure.
doesn't feel like we're gonna do a cameo back to
Oh,
Christopher Reeve. Like it can't. It was its own thing.
because it was so. What here's the scene that I was like goosebumps when Superman comes back and that building is falling and the lady's in the car and the lady he stops and then the building finally crashes down and he comes out of the dust and you just see him hovering
Yeah,
like you know why the music didn't feel like a cameo because when you see him on screen like that you got the gravitas of who Superman is and
yeah,
the music complemented that.
yes.
Where I feel like if it was a different person or a different scenario or a different movie, you'd be like,
Well, we saw it in Joss Whedon's Justice League, how he was throwing in the old Batman music and he threw in the old Superman music, and it just felt like a nod. It didn't feel like he was
right,
part of the movie.
right,
I thought they did a brilliant job with that. And the costume,
look great.
it's my this it might be my favorite Superman costume. And I know people are gonna come for me, but the logic of this Superman going, I don't want to be physically imposing. So I don't want to like show off my physique too much. I don't want to be like I'm unapproachable. I'm gonna
Right.
throw on trunks because I think David Cornsweet said in an interview or somebody said like I want like when kids draw me to have fun. Like yeah, I mean kids at school drawing Superman.
Yeah, yeah.
They're not drawing this
They're not
imposing.
drawing He-Man.
No, and they're not drawing him with glowing red eyes. They're like drawing him like he's a friend.
Right.
Um, I liked it, and I liked that it looked. If you were going to make a super suit to endure your battles, it would look a little thicker. It would look like it's sturdy, and I love it. He looked good in it. Out the S, I'm still not with the S.
You know what? But
I'm cool with it, but
he had the S on the cape though.
he did, and that's the thing. For everything this suit I might have had issues with, something about it makes me I'm fine.
Yep.
Like, why is it a little baggy? But look at those colors. Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, the S, why can't it just be a regular S? But it's on the back of the cape. Yeah, sure. I'm
Yeah.
easy. I'm easy. No, I thought it looked great. And here's another thing. We all kind of filled in the blanks and assumed that the Justice Gang are like working with Maxwell Lord, and that's why Guy Gardner doesn't have like his typical Green Lantern outfit. But they never explained it to us.
He's
We
like
kind of just figured it out.
these guys are just there, and then we got a cameo by Maxwell Lord at the very end being interviewed.
Yeah.
That was it, and what I'm looking forward to is the upcoming movies and shows that expand on this
Well,
universe.
let's talk about cameos because I have that here. So first up, you said we have Maxwell Lord here. We also saw him in the trailer for
Yeah.
Peacemaker with the Justice Gang, interviewing him and then denying him, into the Justice Gang. We also got freaking Frank Grillo's character,
Yep. Rick Flag Sr.
Rick Flag Sr., who at the end of the movie, he's staring at the screen, kind of like very intense, as Lex Luthor's being taken to Belle Reve, which is very interesting because that's where the Creature Commandos are. They're all in Belle Reve.
Right. Well, and we know Creature Commandos is canon.
It is canon. Like the Rick Flag and Creature
Is
Commandos,
this Rick Flag?
voiced by Frank Grillo, is this Rick Flag. And it's almost like he's sitting there, like seeing Lex go to Belle Reve, knowing they're definitely going to use this guy
Right.
to be in a Creature Commandos. And we know that when he shows up in Peacemaker, Rick Flag Senior, it's I think it's to kill Peacemaker because the Suicide Squad is canon to this universe, and Peacemaker kills his son.
Yep.
So that's it. What did you make of Okay, wait. I want to see if there's another cameo before I say this.
Okay.
I don't think there is. Supergirl shows up.
Oh man, I loved it. I loved it. And she's like,
Dude,
"Bye, bitch."
she's a mess.
A
She's a
hot mess.
home and
She's a teenage party girl. She's Madison with two Y's and not where you think they are.
dude. What's amazing is on TikTok hearing the so-called fans be pissed off that James Gunn made Supergirl this shrunken party girl, not realizing the next Supergirl film is based off of Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. And literally in that movie, Supergirl goes to planets where she has no powers to celebrate her 21st birthday. That is the comic. And she goes with Crypto.
Yep.
It's literally, I'm watching fanboys critique something that is literally straight from the comics.
So here's the problem with fanboys. Number one, it's Supergirl, not Superman. So she's a woman. So because she's a woman, she can't. No matter what she does, is gonna be wrong.
Right.
So that's their problem is that whenever you don't have a white male protagonist, they have to tear it apart.
Ironheart. We don't get into that.
Yeah,
because we could be there.
But we see, that's the toxic downfall of our
community. It's so and like watching Clark go, you move the door, it's right over there.
Yep.
like I can't wait to see their dynamic as he's just like, Kara, please, like just trying to hold it together.
Right.
Now I did have one question.
Go ahead.
We had another cameo in this film, not really a cameo, surprise casting, freaking Bradley Cooper
as Zor-El.
Yes. So,
and we had the girl from Westworld
playing Lara.
Yeah.
And what's very interesting is, well, first I wish Jack was here for this because they changed the canon. Like his parents didn't. They're Vulturemites essentially.
So when Mr. Turner was like, this is not it's real and it's not doctored. I was still hoping that I'm holding out and hoping that there is hope that was misinterpreted so his parents can somehow be exonerated from this. And I
don't think it is.
I don't think it is either. And I don't particularly like that take on it, but because they're technically in the past, they're dead already.
It doesn't really matter.
But I like you. But you're right. He did make them into Vulturemites, and I'm watching it. I'm hearing it. I'm seeing it, and I'm still holding on hope that that's not the case.
For some strange reason, I'm not mad at it. I think in too much Superman content, they make his Kryptonian parents the pinnacle of his wisdom. But like he didn't grow up with them,
right?
So even like the Christopher Reeve movie, you know, Jor-El giving him this big thing, and basically almost every iteration except Smallville. And I'm like, no, like the Superman that I love gets his wisdom from his Kansas parents,
right?
He gets who he is and his desire to do good from his Earthbound parents, and they always make it like his Kryptonian parents were the ones. It
was weird when they were like, this relaxes him, and then it shows that, but then they changed it up at the end and they showed his parents. But he has one broken message from his Kryptonian parents, and a lifetime with the Kents. You would think that he would cherish that relationship more than he did.
Well, that poses a wonderful question that I think if we had an extra 30 minutes on the film to really flesh out the characters, what is that for Clark? Why does he lean on the Kryptonian message as his beacon of hope.
That may be him trying to connect with, trying to find his identity as who he is, and he's holding on to that. But literally, he has Kara to keep him. I don't want to say
Well,
grounded, but to tie him to his roots. And Kara actually grows up on Krypton because Kara leaves Krypton as a teenager, and then they get separated.
so that's my that's what I'm saying. I would have loved Clark growing up, hearing that message from Jarrell going, I know who I'm supposed to be. And maybe Jack's right. Maybe that's what creates the distance between him and his Kansas parents. Like, my calling came from my real dad. And then in the end of the movie, it's like, no, it came from Jonathan Kent, actually.
Right.
But we don't sit in it long enough for these moments to connect. And it doesn't take anything away from the film, but I think it would have added something really sweet, especially just the reaction he had from, yeah, he heard that message from his father and he questioned his entire existence. He questioned, why am I even here?
I mean, rightfully so, though. Rightfully so. I think you grow up one way, and then if all of a sudden the exact message that you kind of structure your life around, you realize it's something else. I don't think you would, anyone in that position, whether you're Superman or you're a regular person, you'd question, what am I doing with myself? Like, you
So
would.
maybe maybe it's that part is really realistic where you have these farm parents who maybe never left Smallville in their entire life. The world is so big, they're ill equipped to even tell Clark where to go. So all they can do is love him, but they know that Clark is getting his guidance from the fortress.
Of course, yeah.
And then
I
in the end, he's like, "Oh man, my Earth father does have the wisdom I need to hear. I never gave them that credit. I don't know, like, just give me some more sauce on the sandwich. That's all I'm asking, you know." Um, oh, here's a really big question though, and it's not an issue, but I need it explained because yes, if you're telling me that Kara was on Krypton as a teenager and she was sent here to look after Kal-El, but she got suspended in some type of thing, and by the time she gets here, he's already 30. If they're going with that story, then a teenage Kara would know why their parents sent him to Earth.
That's true. That's true. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe
Why?
because if the Kryptonian way is not necessarily to conquer, but if they're like, hey, our world is blowing up. Cal, go to this world and you can be a god amongst men in this world.
But they didn't say you could be. They said do it.
And they said like, well, maybe they were like,
Take harems.
take a Harry because maybe we're like, we're trying to. If you're looking to preserve your bloodline and your species, we see that as evil. But if it was reversed, we'd be like, we do what we have to do to make sure humans survive, and maybe that's what they were doing. It may not be like evil or nefarious. It's just like it's what we have to do to try and keep the Kryptonian bloodline going.
And Kara doesn't get a message like that at
No,
all.
she might. She might.
So then we got to answer. So if she got a message like that, then the question is, why did she never tell Clark?
Right, because she'd be old enough to
She comes to the fortress. I'm sure she's heard his broken message from his parents. Is she completely in the dark too? And how so if she was on Krypton?
or maybe that's not a Krypton message. That's a House of L message.
She's House of L.
I don't know. I'm trying to make excuses for it.
No, and it, to me, it's not a plot hole. It's just something that we got to deal with.
Or maybe they're saving that to be explained in.
No, yeah, I'm down. Like for me, it's not a plot hole. It's like, oh, that's interesting. I can't wait. But you're gonna have to deal with that, James Gunn. You can't ignore that part. But I'm cool with not knowing because she just came in the end. Now,
Yep.
if she was there the whole movie, and Clark never asks her, "What's up? What did your parents tell you? What message did you get?"
Right.
Then. or by the time Krypton was blowing up, her parents died and never got a chance to leave a message. Or it could be a million things, but I just need to know, like, why didn't she know? And I don't need to know that now. But it was really dope seeing her. I love that her costume is traditional super. It's
Traditional.
the
Traditional.
skirt with the belt. It looks like his, but with a skirt.
Yep.
I'm digging it. We got her movie coming out like next year with freaking Lobo. I'm in. Um, I want to talk about. Did we talk about everything? Well, you just came out the theater. Is there anything that's just like in your head that you just kind of like
Crypto, crypto, crypto.
crypto?
Anyone who has it was the behavior of crypto was so grounded as anyone who's ever had a dog. But you could just that would just be your dog if your dog had superpowers. Like when he whistled for the dog in the very beginning, and the dog jumped on him and stomped on him, and it's like without reference. I mean, Crypto stole the movie, and I mean, when Crypto was on the screen, is when my son went the craziest because
Listen, James Gunn knows what he's doing. He's like, this is also a kids' film, and we're gonna give them a super dog. In the last like animated superhero movie from DC that went in the theaters was Crypto in the
yeah,
first place.
Super Pets. It's true.
I know I loved Crypto. I love that, and I also love that he was in it. He wasn't like in it on the side.
No, he was in it. I mean, it almost became John Wick real quick.
It did. Okay, let's talk about some of the bad guys, right? So Ultraman.
Bizarro.
Now I'm sure we all thought that was David Cornsweet under that mask. Did you? Was there ever a point where you thought it wasn't?
No.
Some fans got me gassed up, and I was like, "Shut up! No way!" They were like, "What if it's Henry Cavill?" I was like,
Well,
"Shut
that's
the
not,
hell up!"
shut up. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen.
But yo, so like I was going back and forth with a bunch of fans just for fun, good fans, and they were just talking about how like depowered this version of Superman is, and even James Gunn said like I made him weaker, and I had to go in the comment section. I'm like, actually, no.
He still
He's
stopped the
he's
build
just as powerful, if not more powerful, than Henry Cavill, and the only person to make him bleed is a clone of himself.
himself. Exactly.
It wasn't like a guy in a bat costume with a
Right.
machine gun rounds stopped him with a grenade of kryptonite.
Right.
It was
It was him.
a clone of him,
Right.
but the mind of Lex Luthor pretty much illustrating every move Ultraman does.
Right.
Which I'm gonna give him a pass, but it's a good thing. Lex, it's a good thing they didn't fight at super speed because you wouldn't have been able to call out no
That's
moves.
true. That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's
It
true.
didn't really go with the speed for the sake of the story, but that's all right. It was interesting. I kind of almost wanted him to try to appeal to Ultraman, but I know like there's no mind in there. There's no soul.
No, no. And
Um,
I was hoping he'd be a little bit deformed so we can get like a wink and nod at that this is really bizarro, but it's all right.
or something happens to him,
And
like
then
in their fight, like he goes in the black hole and then comes out, and he's all like,
he's still mine.
yeah. Listen,
We didn't.
uh,
It leaves it open.
it does leave it open. Engineer was great. Oh, she
Engineer was
was
great.
great, and
Yeah.
she's kind of an anti-hero, I think, in the comics. She's not fully bad. You can see that here. Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know much about her. I've read about her like on the wiki, but I've never actually read a comic with her in it.
yeah.
But no, she was cool. I liked her. I liked her nano powers. I liked everyone. I mean, Metamorpho was like straight out of
Yo,
the comic. I liked the way.
dude, and that was all prosthetic makeup. That was not
Yes,
CGI at
I read
all,
that too. Yep, yep.
dude. And when seeing Superman's face, like literally, like almost like
You saw him digress and get worse.
radiation poisoning.
Yeah.
Yo, let's just talk about Superman for a second,
Okay.
because there's a lot of back and forth. Me and etc. did a whole video.
I gotta- How was it?
It was great. He's amazing. We
He's,
had a really good time, and although we have different points of view of Superman, he's a Superman fan.
he is a big fan. He's a genuine fan.
He doesn't like the movie. He thought it
He
was
doesn't-
meh. No, he said it was meh.
Okay,
So like mid. Pace all over the place.
well, that's fair.
And his preference of Superman is just closer to like Christopher Reeve, right? There's a thing about Christopher Reeve Superman where in the beginning of the film, a young Clark Kent goes to the fortress, and then we flash forward like 10 years later and he flies out as Superman.
Right,
He's perfect. Like he doesn't need to figure anything out. He has arrived. He is peak Superman.
right.
This version very much feels like Superman year 3. He's not peak yet. He's still figuring it out.
So this is where I want to. If you're gonna do a reboot of a character that we just recently saw,
Hmm.
this is textbook of where I need to see it. I do not need to see another origin story. I do not need to see. I think James Gunn said it. We don't need to see the pearls hit the ground as Batman's parents are getting killed. We don't need to see that.
Hmm.
Give me a year 2, a year 3, like we have it.
But they're still not
They're still figuring
there.
it out, but all that origin stuff and all that, I want them to. I want Superman to be Superman and see Superman as Superman, but he can figure it out and see the growth as Superman. But he needs to be Superman, and that's what we got, and that's what I need. I don't need an hour of him becoming Superman, and then finally at
Right.
the end we get him in the suit.
Right.
I don't want that. I don't need that.
It was like Pattinson's Batman, right?
Yeah.
It was his year 2. He's not fully functional Batman yet.
Right.
He's just still figuring it out.
But
And that's what I loved about Corn Sweat's. His take on Superman is very unique, right? Very vulnerable,
yeah,
very emotional. And that scene with Lois, it might be one of the to me it's the best Superman scene probably ever written because you really got into the mind of him. It doesn't make sense why people make it hard to do good. Like he
right.
doesn't get it.
Yeah, it's like I saved lives. I
Yeah.
don't care if those guys were pro America, if they're anti America. I'm there to
I
save lives.
But then Lois, then we've never gotten a Lois to really articulate her point of view of like, so how did you save him? You threatened the president. How did you threaten him? Oh, she's like, you broke so many international but it was just great to see that dynamic and see him be emotional because Superman feels everything. It's his empathy.
Right,
That's why he saves the squirrel from the kaiju. Like
right.
no one can get hurt on my watch. And when the Justice Gang took out the kaiju, Superman crawls out like
We
a
could have
very
taken it to an intergalactic zoo.
he's like really hoping, yeah, like we didn't have to kill it. And they look at him like you're crazy. And that's why he was struggling with the thing because he's trying to figure out a way to take it in without killing. That's Superman,
Man fighting in a paper bag.
dude. Cavill Superman would have been like made his body a bullet through that thing's head.
Cavill Superman would have destroyed the city and done everything. And Superman, and that's the one thing that James Gunn, I think was very very mindful of. Like the kaiju blows fire, and Superman goes and checks on the people. Like, are you guys okay? Like he looks for that collateral damage when there was zero consideration for that in the other movie.
None. And he does it with a smile. He lets
Yeah.
you know like it's all gonna be okay. In that moment where he fell out the sky and that guy was like, I need to help him. Like the civilians going to help him up.
Yep. Very
Dude,
Spider-Man. Very Spider-Man 1.
yeah, dude. But that was inspired by this guy.
Yeah.
I just loved everything about his performance and his speech at the end when he was like, "You got me all wrong, Lex.
Yeah.
You know, I wake up every day and I'm scared, and I do this and I mess up, but that's what makes me human, and that's my greatest strength. And this is what made me go like, this is Superman."
Yeah.
He goes, and when I look and I hope to God, one day you see that in you. Like he's trying to inspire Lex to be a
He's
better
trying to get
person.
Lex to turn his life around.
This guy just destroyed the city. This guy almost
Took your
killed you
dog.
5 times. Took your dog, was going to dissect him. And in that last moment, you're still like, I want what's best for you, Lex.
Right.
I'm like, that's Superman. That is, and you literally see this man's greatest strength and his greatest weakness right in front of you. That care for people is what's dude, this is a
Right.
Superman that when I'm looking at Snyder's stuff, this Superman would not submit to the anti-life equation. It just wouldn't work on
Right. It's true.
him. You know, if this Superman had a Joker that killed Lois Lane and destroyed Metropolis, this Superman still won't become Injustice Superman.
Yeah.
He don't God didn't in him.
Right.
It's just not in him,
Right.
dude. I love the film. I'm gonna see it again in IMAX. I got to.
You have to.
Uh,
I saw it in XD, 3D, and all that,
oh
everything.
God, dang,
Yeah. Did it all. I got the best one I could get.
bro. I mean, and real quick, as we wrap this up, I think we got to show some love to Rachel Brosnahan. I think she is probably easily the best on-screen Lois Lane we've ever
She's
got.
not toxic, man. She's actually a positive influence in his life. She can have a different point of view and constructively express that to him without throwing herself out the window. And she is not a toxic entity in his life.
Well,
And
what's interesting, and I know people are like, Superman's woke. He doesn't save Lois in this movie.
no,
She saves him, and you know, and it doesn't feel like you're trying to do that woke thing.
no. She's in trouble, and she got with Mr. Terrific, and they did what they had. She did what anyone who truly loved and cared about someone would do. She did everything she could to make sure he was safe.
It's one of the. It's not the only time because Terry Hatcher. We have some really great Lois Lane and some really great Lois Lane moments, but I think it's been a long time since we've seen a Lois, and you go, I get why he fell for you.
But you know
I
what though?
get why he loves you. You add so much to his life.
She does. And you know what I liked is when they went to go save him, it was Mr. Terrific doing it because he's the superhero. Because sometimes what they'll do is they'll make Lois, even though, or they'll do with Mary Jane too, like even though they don't have power, all of a sudden they develop some crazy ability to fight or something that's almost outside their character. But
Mhm.
she's I don't want to say she's a detective, but she's a journalist. So like she used that her abilities
Yeah,
to what she has inside to try to save him, but it never like jumped the shark out of her what her abilities and what her scope would have been. And I
right.
bought it because when it saved it was Mr. Terrific because he's a superhero doing superhero stuff, but Lois's intellect is what got helped get them there. So they worked on her strengths and it made it you bought it like okay this makes sense.
Well, and that's why my biggest critique still stands. I would have preferred her to figure out Lex's plan using those skills than just Jimmy Olsen's girlfriend just wants that schlong so bad she'll tell him whatever he wants.
Right. Well, she was getting to it though. She was getting to it. She was like, she was starting to uncover it, but it kind of got spoon fed to her. I don't know if it was for time or for pacing, but
I'm sure it was as fast as I'm sure it was for time. You didn't really have the at this pace. You didn't have the time for her to do that thing.
yeah,
That's why there's so many scenes where they're kind of just explaining the plot. Like you have a scene where Lois is walking with Perry and she's just telling you everything. So they don't have the time to actually show you because they wanted it to be so tight.
right.
Um, I will say, it Lois Lane getting into the Mysterious ship with the Daily Planet cast. It was fun, but like it did nothing. Like what did they? They didn't do anything.
I mean, well, they had to get out of there because of the rift. So, but yeah, but no. They had to leave so that they can publish the story.
Well, I get it with them
But
all.
they would need to
Like,
be in a spaceship to publish the story. I get it. It was just fun.
because
It was just fun to
when
see
they
that.
all got in the spaceship, you felt like, oh, they're about to do something. No,
Nope. 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 Wrong.
no.
Wrong.
But if you watched Superman Returns, you would have saw something very interesting. At the end of Superman Returns, and at the end of Christopher,
There's nothing interesting in that movie. I tried twice.
but at the end of that and the Christopher Reeve film, both Lex Luthors do a thing that causes a nationwide type earthquake that starts splitting the surface in half. In both of those films, the Superman one, Luthor detonates like freaking missiles. And Superman has to stop the earthquakes and go in the ground and all that stuff. And at the end of Superman Returns, Lex Luthor creates a kryptonite island, but which causes tremors all the way into Metropolis. And Metropolis literally starts splitting in half. Superman has to go and save people. That was very interesting. Like, it's this, y'all just did the same
That's the
thing.
move. That's the move.
But I didn't realize it watching it. It was like after I was home and I think I saw a clip of Superman Returns on TikTok. And I'm like, wait a second.
This is the same
It's the
thing.
same.
That's what I just saw.
Yeah, but way better in James Gunn's. I mean, you're talking about a pocket universe opening up and Lex going, this city embraced them, let it burn. I'll go to another city. I'll stop this when I'm in a city I think that's
Yeah,
worth
wait, see what
saving.
I care about.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Dang.
Lex.
Man, and I'm so happy Lex Luthor didn't die. And I'm so happy Lex Luthor didn't figure out Clark Kent was Superman.
Yep.
Like it didn't undo the things that we love.
Right.
Okay, real quick. I don't think I can see Pattinson in this universe anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
Although James Gunn did say every DCU project will have its own tone. It's not going to be this. Each project will be like Clayface is going to be a rated R horror film.
right.
So it's not going to be this. But that being said, yeah, I no longer see it.
I don't know, but
Maybe.
I mean, they could play off well against each other.
I mean, their suits being so like they look good together.
They do look good together.
They look good together. Well, Chris, like, what would you rank this film?
9 out of 10, man.
9 out of 10. Okay, you went with your wife, who's not a geek. What did she think?
She loved it.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's it.
Because a lot of Superman fans who are more so Snyder fans are hating it because they want it to be more serious and blah 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 blah. But I'm like, it has to appeal to everyone.
Why can't things be what they are? Why can't you're upset because it's not Snyder? This is not the Snyderverse. So why can't you let this be something else? But it's so true to the source material. Whether you're a casual fan or you're a true fan, I don't know. I don't understand. I understand if you didn't like it because you didn't like it, but I don't understand how you can just hate on it because it's not something. But it's more true to to Superman than the Snyder stuff is true to Superman.
Well, maybe that's because Superman still came out in 2013. It's a whole generation of people that grew up with that movie who believe that that's the way he's supposed to be. They don't read comics.
Yeah.
They didn't, and so it's almost like it was a disservice. And I just praise James Gunn because, and I praise the MCU as well because after started with Batman '89, and then it went all the way into like the Marvel stuff before the MCU, where directors and producers and studios were ashamed of the characters they were creating.
Right.
So the X-Men can't be in yellow costumes.
Right.
Put them in all black.
Yeah.
Snyder, we got to take the trunks off of Superman. Like we have to we're embarrassed about certain things about these characters. So we can't go there. Christopher Nolan's like, I have no use for Robin. Right? And it's nice to see James Gunn and the MCU go, we're not embarrassed by these characters.
Oh.
And we're going to put them on screen the way they're meant to be.
Right.
Dude, I give it 9 out of 10, dude. That's like...
That's fantastic.
That's Spider-Man No Way Home.
That's fantastic, man. It was fantastic.
I think I'm going to sit with an 8 out of 10. For pacing and the Jimmy Olsen Eve stuff.
Okay.
Let me ask you some questions real quick.
Yeah.
Is it better than Ant-Man?
I think so, just a little bit.
Is it better than Iron Man?
Iron Man 1?
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man 1 is good. Have you rewatched it recently?
I don't even need to. I know it lives rent free in my mind.
I'm gonna tell you this. I think it's gonna be it's on par as good, and I think it will be as impactful on the
as
DC, as the
as
DC
Iron Man was.
as Iron Man was. I think the Iron Man comparison is a very, very, very fair and a very, very accurate and a very, very hopeful comparison of what this will do to the DC universe.
Is it as good as the best movies to come out of the MCU?
Yes, yes, yes.
I think I put it a step under the best.
No, because Iron Man is one of the best movies to come out of the MCU.
This
Avengers,
this ain't no Black Panther.
but no, it's not a Black Panther. But the tone is different. The tone is appropriate. The tone is
Oh yeah, yeah. Tone is appropriate, but I would put it like Black Panther, Infinity War, maybe Winter Soldier kind of live here, like 10 out of 10s.
even the first Avengers too is up there.
And not to me, it is because it's like the first time we saw it. But I feel like if I rewatch it, it's a good time. But it doesn't. It's not. It's not. It doesn't go where Infinity War goes. It doesn't go where Black Panther goes.
Mm.
So yeah, I would say like I would say if I was grading on Black Panther's a 10 out of 10, Infinity War's a 10 out of 10, Avengers is a 9 out of 10, Superman's 8.7
Okay,
maybe. I actually think Superman's better than Avengers 1, in my opinion. My opinion. But it was great. It was great. My second favorite Superman film of all time. I gotta give it to Chris. I can't.
diner film. Yeah, I get it.
Can't. There's something there's something that I wish this movie captured that the Donner films did it, which is there was such a level of beauty in that first Superman film. The way he flew, like the time they took to look at him, there was something that's really epically beautiful. And I wish we got that. Had moments of that in this, where he's just flying because he likes flying, and it looks gorgeous,
We didn't, we didn't have the time in this movie for that.
And we needed it. We needed like
I want to see the director's cut come out and see what happens.
it may not be nothing. I think James Gunn is amazing because he knows exactly what he's shooting and he shoots it. I don't think he has a whole lot on the cutting room floor
Huh.
because he knows what he wants. He doesn't waste time,
Yeah,
which is why he got the film done so quickly. But yeah, like I don't know where it would have fit, but it wouldn't have been bad to see Lois and Clark flying
we got it a little bit.
at the end,
Yeah,
and I loved it. Like they sneaking off, and Perry White's like, "I know what's going on."
yeah. I like that.
Well, Chris, that's Superman.
That's it.
It was amazing.
Yep.
8.7 out of 10. It's not an 8. It's an 8.7.
Fair enough.
I might change my mind and make it a 9, like when I go to sleep.
Yeah.
But it was great. And what I love the most about this is that I'm such a fanatic for Superman. I went in with so much baggage. Like I told you, like you asked me how was it. I'm like, I'm still letting it simmer. Because of that, I have not been following Fantastic Four at all. I'm going in with such innocent, no expectation eyes. I'm gonna have a good time. This is a good July.
Yep. It is.
All right, man.
I'm ready.
You're crazy. How much was that? Please tell me.
No idea. All I know is my bill was over $90, and I got 20% off.
Did you use that in the theater?
No,
That'd be hilarious if you ate out of that popcorn bucket. That is sick.
it's dope, right?
That is sick.
I gotta go back and cop the Superman bucket. But when I saw the Galactus bucket, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it.
But which one?
Probably
Which,
the crypto one.
because like each theater has their own buckets.
The Cinemark one that has the crypto bucket.
That has like the doggy dishes in the crib.
Yeah, I like that.
I like the one where it looks like Superman is using his heat vision to heat up the popcorn. You see that one?
Yeah, it's pretty dope.
But these are like $60.
I know.
Like, even if you didn't want to see Fantastic Four, you have to now.
I have to now. I've already
That
invested.
popcorn bucket costs more than the movie ticket.
More than the movie ticket.
I love it, man. Well, real quick, I did cop this.
Nice.
So I'll have him and Christopher Reeve
Together.
side by side.
Dope.
That's pretty fun. All right, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for jumping on. This is our deep dive. Let us know in the comment section what your thoughts were. I'm sure we missed a bunch of stuff. We're still unpacking this thing, but we got a Superman movie in theaters. Sebastian, can I ask you a question? This is Chris's son, Sebastian. Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
You can show that on Sunday.
Sunday. Oh.
Yes, son. But I want to ask you.
Where'd you get this?
Okay, that's appropriate.
Yep.
What did you think of the movie? I want to hear it from a child. I want to hear it from a kid.
By myself, I really liked it.
That's the
I'll
point.
rate it. There was a lot of good movies this year.
It was.
There's a lot of good movies. We still got more good movies coming out.
Yeah. I'll rate it a 9 out of 10.
Like father, like son.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here, folks. No matter how you feel, if you think it was corny or silly or you wanted this or that, a kid went to see a Superman movie and grades it a 9 out of 10. And I think that's the only grade that really should matter when it comes to a guy instilling hope. There's a scene where he's hugging children.
Exactly.
Come on. All right, man. I'll see you Sunday, maybe?
Sunday.
All right.
And
Good
Sebastian,
night.
you can show your thing on Sunday.
Yes, they show me your F1. Did you hear about Max Verstappen? Max
Verstappen.
He might be leaving. Might be going to Mercedes.
I heard about that. It's gonna be a little bit hard for me because I really love Red Bull.
Red Bull's about to change.
Red Bull's gonna change. The new team principal.
Well, I'm also 5 years behind or whatever you are.
You gotta start watching the new ones.
I know. I gotta catch. There's been so much. There's so much good stuff to watch. I mean, I'm about to go see Superman at least 4 more times, Sebastian.
At least
4 more times. You didn't know this, Sebastian. I'm a pretty big Superman fan.
Now I know.
This is on my desk. That might be me, but not really. Anyway, all right. Enjoy the night, guys. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.
Peace.